Hi, this is Jorge Gonzalez with Team Data of 8, Realtor in Miami, Florida with Keller Williams Realty. Have you filed for your homestead exemption? Well, if you bought a house last year, your time is running out. Stay tuned. If you live in the state of Florida, we enjoy the benefit of a homestead exemption. What does that mean? We can save money on our property taxes. The only way to get that exemption is by filing for that exemption. You only need to file for it once. Soon after you buy a house, you need to file for that exemption, and then you have that exemption as long as you live in the house and make that your primary residence. One of the benefits of working with me as a realtor is that I'm going to send you a reminder the beginning of the year right after you bought a house. So if last year you bought a house with me, stay tuned. You're going to be getting an email from me with a link so you can file for your homestead exemption. You have to be very timely because there's a deadline in order to file for the previous year's homestead exemption. That deadline, at least in Miami, Florida, and in Broward County, is March 1st every year. So if you bought a house last year, you've been living in it since January 1st of this year, that's one of the requirements, and you've been making that your primary residence, you qualify for the homestead exemption. One of the questions is, how much do I really save using my homestead exemption? Well, let's say you have an assessed value, that's the taxable value on your home of, say, $300,000. The homestead exemption is always $50,000. And that applies to whatever assessed value you have. So if you have an assessed value of $300,000, if you didn't have a homestead exemption, you would be taxed based on $300,000 value of your house. With the exemption, you subtract $50,000, so you would only be taxed on $250,000. That lowers your tax, and it could be a substantial amount depending on your municipality within the county. Saving money is always a benefit, not only in the current year, but since you're going to carry that exemption for the rest of your time living in the house, that adds up to a lot of savings over time. It also is a prerequisite for some people in certain situations to apply for additional exemptions. Did you know that if you were a widow or a widower and you have a homestead exemption, you're actually going to qualify for additional benefits? If you're blind, you also have an additional exemption. If you are a veteran with a 100% disability, there are other exemptions. There's all kinds of exemptions. In the email and the text below, I'm going to add a link so you can actually go to your county's property appraiser's office to see what other exemptions you might be able to file for. But at a minimum, make sure that you apply for your homestead exemption. Remember, the deadline is March 1st, and if you don't get it done by then, you have to wait till the following year and miss out on one whole year's worth of savings. I don't want that to happen to you. If you have any questions about this or anything else really real estate related, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email to the information found below. Have a great day. Thanks.